Okay, this is Combatpainter, and I will be basing Flames of War with Golden's Pumice gel. And this is my preferred way of basing. And here it is. I use the Golden Pumice gel course. And this works for the 28mm and the 15mm. I've also done 10, and it gives you a nice effect of the sand slash glue, which then later you paint over and you can wash or you can dry brush. Now there's lots of ways of basing. This is my preferred method. Why? Because the glue and the sand is already pre-mixed, and I don't have to deal with any loose sand particles or getting glue all over the place or mixing it. And this pumice gel lasts you over a year, easily over a year, and the 32-ounce jar costs around $25. And it lasts you, I don't know, easily 1,000 figures, easily, depending of course how thick and how high you kind of lay it on there, but it is what it is. So let's start. Let's get down to business. Here's you just saw the finished product, and this is a base that's halfway done. And the reason I did that is so that it does not take me all that long to finish, and you don't just watch me spreading paste the whole time. So I'm taking a little bit out of a jar and I put it on the side of a cup, as you can see. I never go directly from the jar because this accelerates the drying issue with the paste, and you don't want that because it's it costs you money, so you don't want to leave the jar open. A lot of people paint out of the jar or out of the bottle, and I never understood that either. Because again, you're accelerating the evaporation of the liquid in there, and the paint dries a lot sooner. I use a wet palette when I paint. Now here I am spreading. What I usually do is fit it in to the edges. I'll clean it at the end, and then how I do it is I take a brush and I push in towards the base, filling in all the gaps, and this helps me avoid getting the paste on the figure. And every so often, if I do get a little bit of paste on the figure, right? If I do get a little bit of paste on the figure, guess what? It's not a problem, because I just clean it up. Get to wet the brush. Now my brush is always moist when I'm doing this, and it works the best because it doesn't stick to the brush, and it kind of moves it around nicely and easily and loosely. You don't want to have it too wet because then it's just going to spill all over the place. You don't want that. I try to climb up on the bases a little bit along the edges and get a little bit of sand, glue paste, pumice along that base. You want to hide the bases as much as possible. I have tricks that I use if a base is very apparent after this pumice gel dries, and to be able to hide it properly. I'll be showing how to do that later on. Maybe not in this video, but maybe in another one. And they're pretty much, if you go around here, okay, let's get it. I can get it back here a little bit more. See that? Bring it back along the sides and edges. Want to avoid getting any on the shoes. Alright, I bring it from the front sometimes, and I fill that little spot in there. A little bit like that. Okay. That's pretty good. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So that base is pretty much complete. So now what I'm going to do is I'm basing these guys. These are desert Australians, and I'm going to be basing these for desert. So I will be using a little bit of folk art. What color is this? Rusted pipe. And this kind of works. And then later I dry brush, I let it dry, and then I go over it with, what do we have here? Oh, that's not the one. Excuse me. Ah, here it is. Alright, that one right there. And that's linen. That's folk art linen. Okay? So let me bring you one that I've painted. This dries. Put it to the side, and I painted this one. Okay, now I made a wash with folk art. What color is this? Doesn't really say, but it's a brown folk art, and so you can see the color there. I don't seem to see the name of the paint color. But I made a little wash, and what I'm going to do now, okay, is I'm going to go over the base with the wash. And what this is going to do is once I dry brush, guess what? It's going to give it a three-dimensional effect. Okay? And I really like that. It looks more complex. I guess it simulates the complexity of nature, right? With all that goes on in nature, and I laid a wash on there. Now you're going to let that dry, and it ends up looking like this. Let's pull this to the side. It ends up looking like these bases. See that? Once it's dry. The next thing I do is get the linen color. Get a little brush, a small brush. Let me bring this closer. Let's see, so we can see a little better what I'm going to be doing. There. Push this back, push this back, push this back. I'm going to get a, wipe it down. And I'm going to start going over this. There you go. Okay. A nice, easy dry brush. Bringing out all the details, so the earth. Trying to avoid the shoes the best you can. Definitely not perfect. It's not an exact science. Some dust and some dirt and so on would get on a soldier's shoes when he was running in the desert. So even if you do get a little bit on there, hey, that's not a problem. There's a lot of guys that actually paint the bottom of pants and coats and that sort of thing with dust and dirt and grime to simulate the realism of being outdoors and dealing with all that. Okay, so there you go. Let's see. Now let's do the other one. Yep, that's what you do. Now maybe you ask, why didn't I just paint it a darker color and then just dry brush? Well, you can do it that way as well. I'm just showing you all the different ways of doing it. This is a wash way. I could always do it both ways and compare. But I also like this look. I mean, both systems work, both methods work. But I happen to like. I like them both, really. Okay, so there you go. So what you want to do is wait a couple of seconds. And there's different types of terrain that you can simulate in the desert. And there's one set with little spots of green here and there, and that's how I simulated this base to look, right? I can add one over here. I use a little bit of white glue, right? There's a little bit of white glue, little dab, very little. Let's see if it pops out for me. Yeah, there you go. Put one right here, right on the edge there, okay? And I'm going to put a couple here, one there, one back here, and one back there. On this base, I'll put one right in the center under his base. I'll put another one over here, again hiding the base, and I'll put one up front. Okay? And I'll get this itty bitty tiny material from Woodland Scenics. I just pop it on there. And again, this is 15 millimeter, so it may be a little green, but that's okay, because from a distance, when these guys are, 6 feet away from you on a table, this is going to look really cool. It's going to look just like, yeah, it's going to look very cool. It's going to look just like it would in North African desert. Okay, and there you go. You've got a little here. And the last little bit is going to go up here. There you go. And the glue will dry. You won't see it. Push it down a little bit so it sticks. There you go. Okay, and I'm pretty much done. And that's what these guys are going to be looking like once they dry, pretty much. And there it is. That's a finished product. Decent, easy, simple, fast. As you practice using the pumice gel, you'll get better and quicker and understand it more, how it works. And I recommend this. I highly recommend the system of basing Flames of War and any kind of figures. Thanks for watching, and I'll bring another tutorial as soon as I get a chance. Thanks.